Okay, folks. So now we're back again. Welcome back to Guitar with Ed, and welcome back to the 12-bar blues soloing vocabulary kind of thing. The reason I'm doing this basically is most of my students know this scale, and I have them starting to use it with the jam track, but without an intro. They have a different jam track, but now they have this one. Because they wanted vocabulary besides just the scale up and down kind of thing, you know, and that's always the case for all musicians. Usually, you first start learning things, you learn the scale, blah blah blah, and you start making things up yourself. But then you get to a point where you don't see all the possibilities, and you won't for a long time. So much of guitar playing is going, oh, why did I not see that before? You'll be playing around with something for months, sometimes years, and bang, you'll get this eureka moment and go, why did I not see that before? It was right there in my face the whole time. There's just so much to look at, man, and it's a natural process. You just have to just keep playing, experimenting, and that's the fun. Just hop on and enjoy the ride. So solo number two. What we're gonna start off with is a two finger, two strings, one finger. Don't do this stuff. One finger. I'm only using that part of my finger. That's the first knuckle joint here, the very top knuckle joint. Just in that little spot there. That's all I'm using. If you go like this, you're just wasting your energy because you got more pressure on this part of your finger. You naturally will be able to put more there. So if you put it right where you're trying to use it, it's going to serve your purpose better. So our phrases. We have two in a row. Two in a row. Sorry, two in a row, and they're the exact same. So it's really 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But what I do is I slide in from one fret below and make it a little greasy. And then I slide out at the end as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are those opening phrases of the solo. And you hear every blues guy will play this at some point. So then we're gonna go to the next part of the solo, which is basically the same thing, except now you're playing 6 notes. So you have the two groups of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it goes in sixes. You can do the same thing, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. So those are those first 4 phrases here happening. And then you're going to set up here. You're going to keep your finger here because we're going to return back to that first string on the 5th fret. So you're down your 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're going to come over here with your pinky on the first string and your 3rd finger on the 2nd string. One is on the 8th fret and the other guy's on the 7th fret. So you got this, which sounds mean. And if you can vibrato it, give it a little singing quality, it just starts to sound mean. And if you can get a little bit of a smear bend here on this 3rd finger, when you add the vibrato, it really sounds mean. So now this phrase is going to use those 2 notes. So you got your 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're into this, and it's groups of 3s now. So we're getting smaller groups, but it's adding more excitement here. And now we get down to this mean guy, and you're going to go 4 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And what I did is I returned it back to only 1 string now on the 5th fret on the 1st string. So again, you've got I'll do that whole little bit now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slide. And then 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3s. If you can make it sing, that's awesome. And that's that first little section of that solo, the 2nd solo. And it's starting to get excitement here. We're starting to get double notes going and a little more beef going on the guitar, which sounds pretty awesome when it's done right. And these things, every blues guitar player, 90% of rock players do this, country guys do this, jazz guys do this. It's all over music. So we'll move on. The next phrase is simply a downwards, and we're going to U-turn again. So we're going to go down the scale. But once we get to the 4th string, on our A note here, on the 7th fret of the 4th string. You're going to turn back around and end with that minor, major, third thing I talked about earlier with a hammer on. So you got, sorry, right there. And that would be that phrase. So we got like 3 more phrases to go, I believe, and then we're into the ending of the solo. So now you've ended on this major, minor, third kind of thing, minor, third, major, third. We're going to repeat that, but now you're going to pick that. So you're not going to hammer it like we did with the whole descending U-turn run. Now you're going to just kind of repeat what you just said, but we're going to go from first finger to second finger here on the 3rd string, down to our first finger on the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and do a double hit again, double note, double strokes. So you end up with this, which you hear this all over the blues. So that's that. You have this in total with the descending run. The next phrase is very simple, and we're going to use that other outside note on the 2nd string at the 7th fret. So what we're going to do is, now you're here singing, you're going to come back and play 3 notes. You're going to go, so we're going from 5th fret to 7th fret to 5th fret again on the 2nd string. And vibrato if you can make it sing, you know. And now we're going to reuse this 7th note again, 7th fret I mean, on the 2nd string, this outside note. We're going to slide it up 1 fret. Oops, my fingers did the walking on their own there. So what I'm saying is we're going to go all the way down here to the 4th string again on our A note, and then we're going to add our hammer on back in, U-turn, but then U-turn again. And that'll create some excitement for the ears. And it's a common phrase you hear again. All these are common phrases. So I guess out of your little outside note thing here, and I just totally messed that up. Where am I going? Okay, here we go. But this note is really the beginning of our intro that we're going to use as our ending again. So you end up with so that note is the end of that scale phrase. But it's also the beginning of the other part. It's a dual, it kind of has a dual function here. So you have to make sure you set up with your 3rd finger for sure here, or you won't be able to get to that 1st fret, or 1st string I mean. So you end up with this, and now instead of going down to the low E like we did before, you're just going to simply, instead of that last note, you're just going to return back to an A power chord and get this. 6th string, 0, 3rd fret also on the 6th string with that little smear bend, and then power chord A at the end. And that's it. So you have... And there you go. There's your 12-bar blues solos. So all together, you'd have something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Then our down descending lick. Then the really bluesy little licks here, the short little phrases. Then the slide. Then our outro. And there you go, folks. So again, if you like what you're seeing here, subscribe to the channel. Leave me comments and or questions, and I'll see what I can do for you. And we'll come back, maybe revisit this in a week. and start showing you how to mix and match this stuff. But really just take this stuff and put it in a bag like shake and bake, shake it all up, make it come out in different ways. And you can also repeat phrases. That's a big thing in the blues. Awesome. Have a great day, folks.